Big time AEW Dynamite and Rampage this week. The Owen Hart tournament kicks off. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to AEW Save. We're back again with another one of these videos for the All Elite Wrestling series, and we are flying away now. Battle of the Belts 2 in the books. Pretty good pay-per-view show. It wasn't a pay-per-view technically, you get my point. And now we move on to a tournament that is going to dominate the booking for the next few weeks, which is good. The All Elite Wrestling Owen Hart Memorial Cup, whatever we want to call it. The Owen Hart Cup, we're going to call it, I think. And I've set up a pretty interesting bracket. I'm not going to reveal the bracket to you yet. We're going to at least do the first round of matches, and then maybe I'll reveal a bracket because there's a couple of jokers. Oh yeah, jokers involved. We're doing a men's and women's tournament as well. Both kick off tonight. We know we're going to debut Cesaro in ring tonight. I need a name for Cesaro, really. We'll go with Cesaro for now, but I do need a name for it. He will debut tonight in the Owen Hart Cup. That's right, in the Owen Hart Cup. We will know we've got a big main event, tag team action, Sting and Darby Allin against Bryan and Moxley. But that is not all. We've got so much, including a pretty big title match. I'll say it, title match. Let's see how this goes. Dynamite first. Alright, Dynamite kicks off this week. Griff Garrison getting a win over Angelico on the pre-show. It's Wednesday, you know what that means. 38 for the segment itself, 40 from Angelico, 30 from Griff Garrison. So it's not the best match. It's very much a pre-show match. I've written some notes down. We're going to do it differently this time, so we've written some notes. It's a chance basically here for Griff Garrison to show what he can do as a single babyface. There's a reason for that where future bookings comes in. And yeah, I just wanted to see what happened. 38, it's not great. It's not great at all, but you know, you've got to lump it sometimes, and that's what we're going to do here. Julia Hart will stick out there though for a 6-woman tag afterwards for a 43. Julia was actually off a game with a 19. That's not great. She does pick up the victory over Penelope Ford. The other people in the match: Kiera Hogan, Chris Statlander, Mercedes Martinez, the Bunny, and Penelope Ford on the heel side. Yeah, it's okay. The best of the lot was Chris Statlander, Mercedes Martinez backing that up with a 46, and we wanted to get Julia Hart a win on the pre-show. She's got to start using her in the ring, I think, and there's a future in place for Julia Hart. I think that will be very interesting for everyone. But we're going to kick off Dynamite with Cesaro's debut in the Owen Hart Cup against Ricky Starks. Will it be a successful debut, or will it be an absolute nightmare for Cesaro? Let's find out. Your winner and progressing to the quarterfinals of the Owen Hart Cup, Cesaro for 69. Good match to open the show. Lots to talk about here. Cesaro 67, very good. Ricky Starks 53, not bad at all indeed. Well, got written down here, 12 minutes as we saw. To kick off Dynamite with some good action, and Cesaro's debut, which is a hot start. Let's start with a big story, right? We need a new name for Cesaro. That is fair. I mentioned that earlier. Cesaro shows off his power spot. Well, to counteract it, Starks uses the numbers game at ringside, as well as lots of cheating, but that then plays into the finish because Ricky Starks continues to cheat, and we're going to do the Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins WrestleMania Backlash finish, where Ricky Starks pins Cesaro, pulling the tights. Cesaro counters into a pin of his own, pulling the tights as well, behind the referee's back for the 1, the 2, and the 3. Ricky Starks will feel like he's been screwed. Cesaro is through to the final 8, and we're now going to start this storyline between Cesaro and Starks, which I think is a good first opponent for Cesaro. Ricky Starks can get a big rub by being Cesaro's first opponent in the company and first real rival, so I'm happy with that. 69. Good start to the show. We go to the in-ring segment after the break with Tony Schiavone interviewing the AEW Women's World Champion Thunder Rosa for a 61. This is a good segment as well, actually. Really good segment. Thunder struggled a little bit, but what she talks about here is the women's division and her championship and the challenges for her championship. She says she wants every little girl watching in the stands or watching at home to want to be the AEW Women's World Championship. She wants this to be the dream. But to do that, she has to put prestige on the title. To do that, she has to make the title as prestigious as she can. And the only way she can do that, quality opponents, difficult challenges, fantastic moments, and somebody to step up. Thunder Rosa with a call to arms to the rest of the women's division. But as we know over the last few weeks, there's lots of people swimming around and looking for a title opportunity. One of those women, Ruby Soho. And Ruby Soho comes out and says, you know what, I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you, because that title is exactly what everybody in this business dreams of. That title is the pinnacle of women's wrestling. And I want to be the one to hold it. The challenge is made. Thunder Rosa sticks out her hands, accepts the challenge, they shake, and the match is made. That match, Thunder Rosa defending the women's title against Ruby Soho, next week on Dynamite. 61. Good stuff. Let's go back to the ring. 6-man action. Adam Cole and Red Dragon defeat the Best Friends for a 67. This is solid as well. Adam Cole, 68. The best of the lot. Orange Cassidy getting closer to 64. Then it comes Kyle O'Reilly with a 60. 50 for Chuck Taylor. 51 for Trent. And 45 for Bobby Fish. And a win here just to put over the trio of Adam Cole and Red Dragon. Now that they've pushed the Young Bucks aside, let's big them up now before we end up, bringing them back. Let's talk through exactly what I'm thinking here. It's a 6-man to put over the heel smoothness as a team, like constant, quick tags. They really do work as a trio, and the commentators can start to ask this question: are this group the best trios team in All Elite Wrestling? Adam Cole and Red Dragon, are they the very, very best? In the end, Adam Cole pins Chuck Taylor, I say with a boom rather than a flying crossbody, to be honest. But 67, really solid middle of the show match, which is all it was supposed to be fair. Just to move things along a little bit. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Backstage, Sammy Guevara bursts into the locker room of Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. He was talking to Jericho about Battle of the Belts 2, where Jericho made sure Guevara kept his TNT title in the steel cage against CM Punk. Guevara says, "You don't listen. I told you I needed to do this on my own because you getting involved constantly is making me look weak as a champion. I could have beat CM Punk. I know that. But you had to get yourself involved, Chris. And I'm telling you now, stay out of my business. I don't need you." Guevara walks off in a huff. Jericho, surprisingly, isn't very happy with that comment, particularly that last one. That one, a little bit of fear in the eyes of Chris Jericho. Is he not needed? Really? 65. Let's see what happens going forward. We're going to open up the women's Owen Hart Cup though now. It is Jamie Hayter against Anna Jay. Again, this is a 16-woman tournament. And let's see who goes through to the quarterfinals. It is Jamie Hayter for a 43. This is good. 8 minutes is all they had. 34 from Anna Jay, 41 from Hayter, so a 43 is good. And Jamie Hayter gets the win with a Falcon Arrow. It says, I did look up a finisher actually, and the finisher that I've read is a Lariat clothesline, so we'll go with a Lariat, I think. The idea here is it's a really good hard-hitting battle to put over the tournament in the opening match. Really put over the intensity and how much people want to win this tournament. We're going to see Britt Baker and Rebel at ringside, but they're going to get thrown out by the referee, and that leads to a change in the matchup because Hayter, rather than relying on Baker and Rebel, has to fight, and she brings the fight and actually looks like a powerful, impressive babyface in a lot of ways. This turns into a face versus face match in a lot of ways. It gets the respect of Anna Jay, who brings her best. Jamie Hayter brings her best. Two women bringing their best for the Owen Hart Cup, but in the end, Jamie Hayter's best is just a little bit more powerful than Anna Jay's, and the Lariat, not the Falcon Arrow, the Lariat gets the win for Jamie Hayter. 43, she's through to the quarterfinals. Good stuff. We've got a break, we come back from break, and Adam Page is here. That's right, Hangman Adam Page is here for a 71 with the world title over his shoulder. He discusses the Miro match at Battle of the Belts, and he thanks Miro for the battle. He says, as champion, I know the chase never stops. People are always after me. The heat never stops. And I want to control that narrative. Stop it. He says, Adam Page says, I want to be the one calling the shot. In a way. if anybody back there wants a shot, now is the time to say. Now is the time to do it. Because I want to defend my world championship right here in New England. Adam Page calls out anybody. It's an open challenge for the world championship, answered by one half of FTR, Dax Harwood. Should be a good match, this one. Adam Page defending against Dax Harwood, your winner. And still AEW World Champion for a 72. Good match. Good match. Adam Page was actually off his game, so it could have been better, arguably. 67 for him, 62 for Dax. Yeah, it could have been better. Adam Page makes defense number 7 of the AEW World title and wins with a buckshot lariat. It's a good test, once again, for Adam Page. Harwood will use all the cheating as an old school heel. Strong strikes as well, but that is what Adam Page can fight through. He can be punched in the face, but as a fighting champion, he will bring it back and punch you right back in the face. And that's what eventually leads to the finish. The buckshot lariat, 1, 2, and the 3. Hangman Adam Page keeps the title. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting with Hangman Adam Page. He's finished with me right now, kind of in a holding period until what's coming next. 72, good stuff. Backstage, Griff Garrison is complaining to Brian Pillman Jr. and Julia Hart about what Pillman did last week in their match when Pillman cheated to beat Garrison to find out who the best of Varsity Blondes was. Julia Hart, though, has had enough and snaps. That's right, she snaps. She says, I am fed up of the complaints. Last week, Brian did everything he could do to win the match. And you know what, Griff? Maybe if you'd had the same attitude for the last few months as Brian had last week, maybe you two wouldn't just be fodder for the tag team division. You would be the tag team champions. So, how's about this? Let's see if Brian's attitude is correct. Next week, Garrison versus Pillman 2. Define this tag team. Define who's the best. And I want to see who's the best. Julia Hart walks away. Garrison and Pillman seem to have agreed. The match is made next week on Dynamite. It should be good. Should be good for what it is. 40 segment isn't bad either, to be fair. Let's go back to the ring. Christian Cage gets a win over Buddy Matthews for a 68. This is a good match. This is a good match indeed. Christian Cage, 66. Buddy Matthews, 56. 8 minutes is all they got. And the experience of Christian was enough to beat Buddy Matthews with a kill switch. A match here kind of putting over Buddy in defeat. He's really going to take it to Christian Cage, an experienced man, a former world champion in other companies. But Buddy couldn't get the job done, and it signals to Malachi Black, maybe Buddy Matthews is a weak link. 68, good match. Post-match, Buddy realises he's made a mistake, he's messed up, and takes his punishment, a black mass, and the House of Black carry Buddy Matthews' lifeless body to the back. We're not splitting up the group, we're just, you know what, he's been defeated, and Malachi Black is laying down the law and putting down his punishment. Okay, backstage for an 84. Good segment. Look, we wanted to debut the leader behind this group tonight, but again, we can't quite because the dates ain't quite right on the game. So hopefully next week we should be able to. This week, instead, what we're going to do, Danielson is on the phone. John Moxley's warming up behind him, and he says to Jay Lethal he wants to speak to you. Lethal takes the phone, and you could just hear Lethal's listening, and then he says, I understand. You got it. Got what? What does that mean? Let's find out. It's main event time. It's Danielson, Moxley against Sting and Darby Allin for a 77. Okay, it's good. I think it could be better, actually, but it's pretty good. Danielson, 83, very good. Moxley, 78, very good. Darby, really good at the 70. Sting, 74 is what you'd expect. What we do here is establish that Danielson and Moxley as a tag team, it works, right? It absolutely works. They bring it, and they are a cohesive unit, which kind of surprises Sting and Darby Allin. The match goes on a while. We're giving it 22 minutes here, 21 minutes. And the reason for that is what we want to show is that Danielson, Moxley, Allin, once the time starts to go, they're fine. They've got the stamina. They've got the physical ability to do it. But Sting's not. Sting's the weak link in the match at that point, and that leads to Danielson getting the win over Sting for the second week in a row on Dynamite with the running knee. For a 77, good Dynamite, I think. Really good Dynamite. I think our best Dynamite's a 77, 78 maybe. So let's see what we get. We get a 75. So not quite our best, but still a good Dynamite. Really good Dynamite. We opened the show with a good match, Cesaro and Ricky Starks. Good six-man as well. Kicked off the women's tournament. Pleased to put the world title on the line. Christian and Buddy Matthews did very well with 68. And then the main event was good. Very good. So let's see where we go with Rampage. I'm pleased with Dynamite. Rampage has MJF against Rey Fenix. And we'll have Darby Allin in action again in the Owen Hart Cup. So let's see what happens there. Okay, it's Friday. You know what that means. AEW Rampage comes to you from the Northwest. And we open up on the pre-show. FTR getting a big win over Top Flight for a 56. Very good pre-show match. Dax Harwood submitting Darius Martin with the inverted figure 4, who was the weak link, Darius Martin. That's not really a surprise. Dante put in a 51, 61 apiece for FTR, a commodity in the tag team division. There is so much talent in that division that you can't push them all at once. This is a match that you could push as a tag team feud. Good to know. We could push it as a tag team feud. 56, I'm pretty pleased with it. Anything else I've written here that needs to be pointed out? I don't think so. Okay, moving on. It is a good night for the Pinnacle because also on the pre-show, Wardlow gets a win over Danhausen. They didn't click. Fine. Splash Mountain Powerbomb, the Powerbomb Symphony even. Danhausen is not my thing. I'll say it now. Not my thing. We kick off Rampage though with a match in the Owen Hart Memorial Cup. It is the men's Owen Hart Cup. Darby Allin against Daniel Garcia. Your winner and into the quarterfinals, Darby Allin for a 67. Very good opening match here on Rampage. 69 from Darby Allin, 48 from Daniel Garcia. Very, very good. We put over Darby's daredevil nature here. That's important. The announcers put over the fact that Darby Allin's daredevil nature shows that he will do whatever is necessary to win the Owen Hart Cup. That makes him a dark horse in this tournament. That makes him a man that no limits, and that could be the key to winning the whole damn thing. Coffin drop for the win. 67. Darby Allin joins Cesaro in the last 8 in the quarterfinals of the Owen Hart Cup. Okay, backstage. Speaking of the Owen Hart Cup, we have CM Punk at a promo for a 100. Wow, what a promo from Punk, despite poor announcement apparently. Let me talk you through what I've got written here. He says, thing is, Owen Hart, because CM Punk is in the Owen Hart Cup, and on Wednesday on Dynamite, Owen Hart, well, CM Punk will pay tribute in the last 16 against a Joker opponent. CM Punk has a mystery opponent in the opening round of the Owen Hart Memorial Cup on Dynamite next week. CM Punk says Owen Hart is someone, he may not have won the titles or the accolades. He may not have been the guy in his time. But for a lot of fans out there and a lot of wrestling historians, Owen Hart was the best in the world. Now, that's what this tournament is about. That's what this tournament will decide, who the best in the world is. Punk says, I've been known to be the best in the world. I used to call myself the best in the world. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still the best in the world. And I'm going to prove it against the Joker. Oh, well. CM Punk. What a promo, by the way. What a promo. 100. That's a huge boost for the show. It's CM Punk against a mystery opponent on Dynamite. That mystery opponent's going to be fun. That mystery opponent going to be fun. Also, on Dynamite, we're going to see Layla Hirsch against Riho in the Women's Owen Hart Cup. 35 for this segment. Serena and Layla Hirsch, well, they discuss the match. Serena says that this summer could be a crowning summer for Layla if she can win the Owen Hart tournament. Riho is a sleeping giant in the women's division and should be taken very, very seriously. Layla Hirsch is listening along and agrees she'll be taking Riho very seriously in the Owen Hart Cup on Wednesday on Dynamite. But now we do a second match in the Owen Hart Women's Cup. It is it's not Ty Conti. I originally had Ty Conti in this spot, but they did not have good chemistry. So instead we swapped her out and put Red Velvet in there against the TBS champion, Jade Cargill. There's only one winner here, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the TBS champion, Jade Cargill. She defeats Red Velvet with a jaded 37, 35 for Jade, 27 for Red Velvet. Fine. Simple win for Jade, and the unbeaten record makes her a favourite for this tournament. And that's what the announcers push. Nobody's been able to beat Jade Cargill. And if that continues, you've got a winner of the Women's Owen Hart Cup. Okay, backstage, Ricky Starks cuts a promo on Cesaro. After the match on Wednesday, Starks feels cheated. He feels screwed. He says, you know what? His Dynamite defeat was unfair. And it should be stricken from the record. Ricky Starks should be in the tournament. This isn't over, Cesaro. Ricky Starks says. 68. Yeah, I'm hoping their feud going forward will be very, very, very interesting. Backstage, Bryan Danielson is interviewed by Tony Schiavone for 70 about the Owen Hart Cup when Keith Lee walks in. Because this is the thing. Next week on Rampage, it is Bryan Danielson versus Keith Lee in the opening round of the Men's Owen Hart Cup. Daniel says Lee thinks he's limitless. Well, here's the thing. Nobody is limitless against Bryan Danielson. Everybody reaches their limit against Bryan Danielson. Lee smirks and says, we'll see, with confidence, and walks away. Danielson Lee next week. Oh, I'm excited for that one. That's big. That is a big match. But so is this week's main event on Rampage. MJF versus Rey Fenix, not in the Owen Hart Cup. And MJF gets a win over Rey Fenix with a 73. Good main event. 69 from MJF, 61 from Rey Fenix, and a 73. Swanton Bomb from MJF. I did not remember that being his finisher, but okay. He gets a win, and another win for MJF, who's gaining momentum. But after the match, his problems come back to haunt him again. Eddie Kingston comes out for a fight. They brawl. Eventually it gets broken up when the Pinnacle come out and referees come out, and the brawl gets stopped. And MJF says, fine, he's had enough. He has had enough. Eddie Kingston wants MJF. He's got him. Next week on Dynamite, inside a steel cage. He saw what Punk and Guevara did. He wants a bit of that violence. 77, good Rampage, gives us a 72. One of our best Rampages, boosted, of course, by a very good CM Punk promo. Good main event angle. Danielson and Lee was, it could have been better, but okay. Everything else was pretty good. Pretty good for what you'd expect. That's a good week. The Owen Hart Cup is giving us some good matches. And next week, that doesn't change either. Because next week's episode sees CM Punk against a Joker. It sees MJF against Eddie Kingston inside a steel cage, not part of the tournament. It sees, how's about this? Layla Hirsch versus Riho in the women's tournament. We're also going to see Brian Pillman against Griff Garrison. That'll be a big segment. We're going to see the women's title on the line. Ruby Soho versus Thunder Rosa. And then, of course, Rampage, we're going to see Danielson versus Keith Lee. We're going to see Hikaru Shida as part of the women's tournament against a opponent yet to be revealed. Not a Joker, but yet to be revealed. And then, yes, we're going to see, what's the other match I've got from Rampage for you next week? Adam Cole versus Trent Beretta, because why not? Do not miss it. If you're excited for it, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for a whole lot more, and until then, peace.